Hello, friends. Welcome to Light Academy, where we illuminate minds. Today, we'll be looking at using hatching techniques to fill in patterns in AutoCAD. So, the first step, obviously, is to open your AutoCAD drawing. Open the drawing in which you want to add the arch. Right now, I have this file open called the bedroom front view. So, the next thing is to access the hatch command. Type hatch. HATCH. If you don't want to go through that route, you just type in H and you click enter. Okay. So you select the hatch type which you want. So if it's a pattern, you want a pattern, you want a solid, you want a gradient, whichever one you want to choose. So for this, let's go with a pattern first. If you look at the section beside here, I have one that is already hashed. So I want to hash the one beside it. So the hash command is already activated. So we have two choices. It's either you choose pick internal point or you select the object, meaning like this option that we're going with right now is picking on internal point. So I'm picking on the internal point, picking on this internal point, picking on this internal point, pick on this internal point, pick on this, and pick on this internal point, pick on this internal point, and pick on this internal point. Okay, so having said that, if I want to pick on the other section, so another thing to consider, it's if you're done with this particular area, let me pick on this point first. It's taking a while because it's trying to process larger parts of the area, so it's taking a while. Let's wait on it. It's coming up. It's taking a while. It's trying to select everything visible around the internal areas that I selected. Yeah, so I have these areas selected. So if I want to give a different hatch pattern for these other parts, what I need to do is to click on enter and then click enter. So when you click on enter, it's automatically activates your last command. So my last command is using the hatch pattern. So I want this to be different. You understand what I'm doing? Okay, so let me just limit it to this. From this class, I just click on enter. So having said that, if you look at this, you see that when I select this hatch pattern, because I did that together, all of them are together, right? I also did this separately. You see all of these are also together. So one of the things to do with the hatch pattern is to change the different hatch pattern designs that you want. So if you want this to look like this form, you can have it that way. And then another thing to understand is on the angle. So this is angle 0. So you can change the angle depending on which one you want. Let me just try to play around with the angle. It's 45. Let's play with 165. This 165. You can just play around with whichever angle that you want to use. So let's just go with a 45 angle. Okay, so this is it. So another thing to do is you can change the scale. This is the hatch pattern scale. So I want to reduce the scale. It's too big, so I want to try to reduce the scale. So look at what is happening. So you can reduce the scale of it. Another thing too, like I mentioned, if I want to, so now you see these are all grouped, and if I want to like separate these arches, how can I go about it? You can just select the hatch and then right click and then go to hatch edit. So having this, if you look at this, the option is showing associative, meaning all this hatch that I selected are together. So now I want to separate these hatches. So the next thing is to uncheck the associative and click on separate hatches. So it's gonna separate all the hatches. So there are other things you can do with a hatch pattern. You can add select object, you can remove boundaries, you can recreate boundaries, you can display boundary object. Like I mentioned, you can define the types that you want, choose the pattern, sorry. You can choose the color as well. Whatever thing you want to do, the scale like we saw, the angles as well here. So you can play around with these options. But for this purpose, I just want to separate the arches right now. So if you look at these, the arches are separated. But before now, they were associative. That means they're together. So now I've separated these arches, and then I want to give a different pattern for this arch. So I go select a different pattern for this arch. So just choose any pattern that you want. So I want this there. Let me choose a different pattern for this. Let me choose a different pattern. You can just play around with any arches, but just pick anyone. Go to clay and change the scale. Increase the scale so that's gonna be legible. Change the scale, increase the scale. I'm increasing the scale so that the pattern can be legible. Scale. Yeah, so this is all about this section. Please, if you need specific things to get situated, please drop a message and I'll be glad to provide feedbacks to you. Once again, thank you so much and welcome to Light Academy. Do have a good one. Bye.